Morning Discord, morning YouTube. Let's get into it. All right, let's let the early candles play out. So originally I had this pink 644.99 as our range. We dropped slightly below that. So I made a new range in this new pink. All right, we see we're underneath the water in our MACD, possibly starting another bear cycle. We got a little bit of room on our MACD 5 for the downside as well. And the 30-minute says we got some downside as well. Let's see if we stay inside this blue on the 30-minute. Now remember, they're going to want to grab liquidity from somewhere before they make a move. So we're going to see where they're going to grab liquidity. And they're going to see which direction the move is going to be. So we got a strong momentum candle to the upside. So let's be cautious of this range for today between 646.01 and what we just hit, 644.50. This is kind of a wide range, but this is the range we're dealing with today. I'll put this one here. So the original range was right here, 644.99. New range, 644.42. So let's see, right? We're looking to see if we're gonna make a head, maybe a shoulder, another shoulder. That's one setup for the day. Or we're going to look for a continuation to the upside. Let's just be patient here. This is kind of a wide range. I'm going to highlight it. So the highlighted pink is our wide range for today. If we don't move a lot today, if we just stay inside here, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Okay, you're hitting the road today for Washington. Nice. How long is that? How many hours is that drive? 30. Oh, geez. 33. Ridiculous. Outrageous number. Okay, yeah. I drove across country. What I did 4 hours. I took a lunch break, another 4 hours, and I stopped for the hotel. I drove across the country a few times. Twice. Oh no, 3 times. I drove 3 times, yeah. Okay, so let's identify our liquidity pockets. We see our liquidity here. We see a pocket here. Okay, so if you're gonna see some downside, let's look for below 644.42. Otherwise, we're in this range, this thick pink. Number two. It's only labeled 2 just to stand out. It's not a like a call out or nothing, just showing you the range. So basically, from this point here, what we're looking for, we want to find a microstructure that's going to support one direction or the other. So if we're at this range in here, right, there's only a few microstructures we're going to look for some upside, right? So it's either going to be, we want to look for maybe a head, a shoulder, maybe another shoulder, right? Like this, if there's going to be upside. Okay, or if there's going to be any downside, let's see. You probably want to look for maybe this cup to close, something like that. Let's see if we get something like this for the downside. Otherwise, we're just in this range. So you can probably see the range better on your 30-minute between 646.22. That's probably a little high, but 644.49. You see the range on our 30-minute very clear. So we know there's a lot of liquidity up in here, so we got to break one side or the other. So if you want to be risky today and try to gamble inside of this range, okay, that's one way to skin a cat. Or just wait for the setup to see if we gain some strength to the other side, but yeah, let's just let it play out. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we go back and close this cup at 646.01. Okay, let's see if we get continuation from this move. Continuation looking like something like this. Or let's see if we come back and close this cup. Just be patient today because it's, I see we're in a tight range today. Look at the 30-minute. You see the range we're in? We're in this tight range, so you're going to have to take your profits quick. I think Nvidia earnings are coming up, so the market may not want to move too much before Nvidia earnings. Can someone look up when the Nvidia earnings are supposed to be? Oh, today. Oh, okay. So yeah, the market may, because you know Nvidia moves the market. So after the close, okay. So yeah, maybe people are waiting for the market. Just to see what Nvidia earnings have to say. I'm not expecting big movement because of that reason. This one candle is kind of weak structure for me to say if it's going to be a movement. So we're looking to see if this is gonna form, if it's gonna be this. Everyone see it? Everyone see that? Or the opposite direction. So now we just gotta wait for our setup. Let me show you what the opposite would look like. Actually, you guys should tell me what the opposite would look like. We went over it earlier. It was closing of this cup. Something like that would be the opposite. I haven't validated this purple. It looks like it's holding up. This purple, I don't know really where I found it from, but we're gonna see, because I don't know about this purple yet. So remember, we're looking for maybe this, or this. Maybe something like this, or the cut down here that I told you about. Otherwise, we're just going to be in this range. So we're above the water on our 1 minute. So we're looking to see if this is going to be a weak bear cycle, because that weak bear cycle will give us some confirmation on our bolt up. Okay. Thank you for that, Ron. That's good information. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's mark out our liquidity. We got some here, and we got some here. We're currently in the bottom one. Okay? So you'll see the direction, right? You'll see what direction once we clear this level of liquidity. We need to break, retest, and reject. Just like this looks like. See that? See that? Let's see how much we can get out of it. I'm gonna clean up this chart just a bit. So you're kind of in the middle of the water here. So we'll wait for confirmations. This purple seems to be holding up fairly well. Probably need to do a little bit of work on the top, but this purple seems to be holding up. Might be a half channel here. We're back at market open, right? We're inside an opening candle. You didn't miss anything. And remember this tight range we're in, so. I only gave this one a 2 because the risk to reward is very short-lived, right? Because you're gonna reach the liquidity right here. So this one was only a 2 based on risk to reward. So now if it wants to head up, you have to ask yourself, what's the microstructure inside of here that's going to enable it to head up? So the microstructure in here, let me clear it up. It needs to look like this. Clean up the chart just a bit. You know what structure goes up, right? So now you need to look for that microstructure to form. So if this is your, on a mini level, right? You want to look for something like that if it's going to continue up. Hopefully still inside this blue. Yes. Okay, we'll go off this purple here. So if we get below this pink and start rejecting underneath this pink, then this micro is unlikely. And then we'd still be looking for this right here. So Discord members, you should be going through the trades that you're taking and looking at the wins for the day and comparing, right? Where if you took this trade, what could you have done better? It's probably going to be I got out too early. That's most likely what the answer is going to be. But critique your own trades. Right, let's see if we get a mini. Look at this micro head and shoulders. Let's see if that forms. See the micro head and shoulders, the mini. See the macro structure, then the micro structure inside. We need to see if this happens. This is our, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed. It just means our best opportunity. The highest probability. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. And then measure risk to reward, right? You know you're about to reach this liquidity right now. That's why it's going to be tough to trade in here. Because even if you do break this purple, your liquidity starts right here at this level. So yeah, you need some confirmation to make sure we're going to continue up. Confirmation is once we start taking out this level up here. If you're not comfortable with trading within such a tight range, then make it a rule for yourself. I don't trade within a tight range like this. You'll feel fine if you don't take a trade. If you make up rules for yourself, you'll be okay if you don't take a trade. See, to me, this is kind of thin structure because it just went sideways. But it does have some good swings between high and low in here. So it's a tough call. But this is technically, looks like thin structure because it goes sideways. But it does have, you know, a steep angle here and a steep angle here. So let's see if this steep angle was enough to get us our bolt, right? That's the bigger term, the bolt up. Every time. She said every time I lose it, I add another. This is hilarious. That comment is so stupid. Oh man. Okay. Okay. All right, what are they gonna do? They're gonna fake us out here. This is gonna be a tough one, right? You see all the wicks rejecting here, but technically this is breaking our. This is gonna break our purple for the up, but we have to worry about this liquidity right here. So I get it. It's there's a lot of things you have to consider, right? You're considering a lot of things right now. I get it, but as long as you manage your risk appropriately and you stick to the rules, you'll be fine. Because you're not going to be able to lose more than you make if you just follow the strategy. Yeah, you definitely need your own comedy show, that's for sure. That is for sure. Now keep your eyes peeled because you want to look to see if you see any type of fading in a direction. Is it fading up or are we fading down? That's what you need to look out for now. When you're at this critical junction, you need to start training your eyes to look for the fade now. Oh, it's too easy. It's almost like I gave you the answer before it happened. Protect your trade. It's almost like I gave you the answer right before it happened. Like I gave you the perfect entry. Like I told you exactly when to buy your call. Right? Whenever you see the fade, now you know what to look out for. Now you know where your entries are, right? Now you can see, you know, what we're looking out for. We knew our put setup was somewhere down here, right? We needed to get at least this to happen for our put setup. This never happened. So our entry, let's say you get stopped out here. Our entry for this long was on the break of purple. We knew we were going to meet some resistance right here. We knew that was going to happen, right? We already knew that was going to happen, but that's what I'm saying. If you stick to your strategy, you should be able to get something out of it. It's hard to lose twice in a row. This is what I was telling you. You got to measure your risk to reward. We know purple is our entry. However, look at the liquidity right here. It shot up to the liquidity, grab liquidity. Now we're going to see what's going to happen. Was this enough strength to push it to at least 646.01? This right here. This is why this thin structure is a little worrisome, because you need orders to be stopped out to push you up. Okay, let's analyze this. So the micro structure was this inverse head and shoulders, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. The macro on this smaller time frame was the cup, handle, up. So when this goes back to the neckline, this move's done. When this cup and handle goes back to the starting point, this move's done, right? So now you're looking for a continuation up. So our out on this play was if we get back inside or back underneath blue. So blue is our guardrail. So break of purple, inside blue, you're in profit. There's no way you can lose. If you let one candle stop you out, there's nothing I can do, right? We know what to expect. Break, retest, and reject. We already knew to expect this. We knew we were going to meet some resistance. We knew this was going to be a part of the process, right? Get comfortable with this being part of the process. Know where to put your stops so you can maximize your... Look at the money we just printed. Look at the money we printed. There it is. Look at this money. You just needed to survive one red candle, and look at the money. We're in profit. You can't lose from here. This is profit right now. You can't lose. If you took the entry on the break, then you needed to hold for the retracement. That's it. And we know blue's our guardrail, right? We want to stay inside blue. We break purple, staying inside blue. All of that happened. We had one entry, two entries. There's nothing more I can do. If you're letting one candle stop you, then stop doing that, right? That's the answer. Stop letting one candle stop you. Take your profit when you get profit and stop letting one candle stop you. Just trust. You have to start believing by now that when certain structures happen, the next thing is going to happen. You have a way higher probability. So allow the move to play out. If you're letting one candle stop you within a movement, you know, we're still inside the blue movement. So there's no reason really to get out until break of blue. That's why I put the guardrail here. Our entry was on break of purple. So purple broke, you waited for the retest and the reject. Simple. Very simple. We had, I mean, I can't draw it any better. I cannot draw this any better. Real time. Look at the money we printed. You just have to be a little patient. You can't let one red candle scare you out. The only option we had was a call, right? This was the setup. This never happened. So this entry would have been, we have to wait till this flexion point. This down here would have been our entry. Down here, somewhere here. Or, you know, if you wanted to be extra safe, somewhere here would have been our entry on a break and retest, something like that. If we get down there. So now you're seeing that once certain structures play out, you got a really high probability of having it go in your favor if you understand what the structure is, right? So our entry wasn't until down here, and it doesn't mean that at this time, right? It could have just jumped right here and done that. What I'm trying to say is the price level is what you need to look for. The price level. Because I don't know when these things are going to happen. I just know that if a certain price target gets hit, this is the next move that is most likely to happen. I'm here to identify your risk. Look, there's nothing. Look, if I gave this play right here, the only option was the break of purple. I gave it a 2. I understand that confidence level of 2 because I need you to be able to measure your risk to reward. So the break of this purple, you can only get up until here. You're hopefully the target is pink. So I'm teaching you how to identify your risk. We identified this way earlier, right? If we started rejecting underneath, we had to reject underneath this pink right here, because you see where the liquidity is. So we had to reject underneath this pink in order to take this liquidity out to give us downside. But because, look at the fade, look where it faded. So you see the liquidity and you see the microstructure that played out. It was the inverse head and shoulders. It was a regular cup and handle. So when you see this microstructure, you know that we're not moving downside because the microstructure was to the upside. You understand how it works now? I mean, can I get some confirmation in the chat or something? Because whatever just happened right now is the whole thing that we do. This is the whole thing that we do. Whatever just happened. Okay, you went back in. That's fine. See, now you're understanding. It's okay to go back in because you know most likely what's going to happen, that we're going to break purple, retest purple, reject off of purple to go to our liquidity zone. We already knew all this was most likely going to happen. You just need to survive this and take your profit whenever you're comfortable. There was only one option here. There was no other option except for buying a call because the put scenario was down here. So for example, if I draw a cup, you can't get in the middle of the cup, right? If you didn't get in up here, then too late. And you got a whole bunch of gobbledygook in the middle. So you don't go in on the cup. You go in on the handle, right? You want to look for the handle to form. Or if the handle's sketchy, then you wait for the price level, the exact price level, right? So it's going to be you either looking for a handle to form. And again, I can't be precise on the handle. I get lucky 80% of the time, maybe a little higher than that. I get lucky with drawing the exact price. I think Ron saw it yesterday. Whatever I did yesterday, completely amazing. And I should be donated to science. But the point is that we're looking for either a flexion point, right? Or we're going to look for the confirmation that we have strength. Look at this perfect move. Look at this perfect move. We just have to be a little bit patient. You see? Every day we can make money. This can be a full-time job for you. You just have to follow the strategy, right? We never broke blue. You should be trailing along blue. I'll put up a guardrail for you right now. Look at this beautiful move right here. Look at the money we printed. Look at this money we printed this morning. Perfectly. Look at the perfect. I told you where we're gonna get money. Look, boom. And if we get any more out of this, look at the exact level I drew this handle. It hit that target. Anything past that is icing on the cake. But this is how we make money consistently. Understand? I need everyone to see this right here. So we had, okay, I'm gonna break it down one more time. I need everyone to pay attention really quick. This morning opened up, right? We identified our liquidity zones. One up here, one down here. In order for us to go down, we needed to see either anyone want to guess? Yeah, either a head and shoulders or an inverse cup and handle over here, right? Because the inverse cup and handle should have looked like this. Cup, handle, like that. That's what the inverse cup and handle should have looked like. Okay, but because it never happened, then we know where the momentum's heading. Because we actually got the microstructure to go up. We didn't get the microstructure to go down. So why would we bet on down? For what? None of our down scenarios happen. You better believe I'm still collecting money. I'm still collecting money because I got this pretty guardrail right here. I got this nice pretty guardrail. At first I was going off of blue, because if I got back inside blue, then I'm not comfortable with the break of purple, and I'll take my loss. Which on this play would have been this red candle still you would have been safe. You still would have been safe, and we still had this flexion point here of protection. So we looked for the microstructure and even the slight macro structure that confirmed everything. The microstructure told us we had strength to go to the purple. The break of purple told us we had strength to at least go to 646.01. I did it all in real time, right in front of your face. That's all we needed to do. We identify where the liquidity is and see which direction it's heading to the next level of liquidity. And look, we're going to hit the target. You have to understand, once certain things happen, these are just where the next orders were. The next orders are here. How do we know that? Because look at all the orders. They all got stopped right here. So we know where the next orders were. Look at this trade. How much? 45.34. This is a 70 cents. 70-cent move. This was a very easy, look at this money we just printed on this trade. Very easy trade, stress-free. We waited for our setup. This is the only setup that presented itself, and we didn't have our risk to reward crazy, right? We knew if we get to this point, we've done our job. If we get to this pink right here, we've done our job. So if you want to start moving your stop, taking profits here, okay, that's fine. I get it, because look, you know where the liquidity is. So if there's going to be a move to the downside, here's where it's going to be. Right? And then if you want to get long again, we want to break this liquidity level and reject off of this one now. Right? We need to form liquidity up here and then break this. And we're going to look for microstructure to the upside. Okay, I'll take my profit. Good trade. I'm going to take my profit right here. Okay, good. You're getting comfortable with holding your trades now. Look, you're above. Okay, look. Also, look what happened with the MACD. Right? We had a weak. What is this? A weak bear cycle. It never crossed below. And when I told you, if we cross back into this bull cycle, you better believe it's going to be what? Continuation. It's exactly what happened. Where's the continuation? The continuation happened on this handle right here. This handle was the continuation. We had our MACD to confirm it. Look, it stayed above, never crossed below. This was pretty easy. Even if you wanted to use MACD, pretty easy trade. No reason to get out. It never, you know, now that it's starting to cross, maybe now you want to start thinking about getting out. But technically, you know, I mean, I'll wait for the cross as best you can. Wait for the blue and the yellow, or the orange to cross. I love Michelle. What? This is absolutely insane. No. Be done for the day. Be done for the day. Oh, wow. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait a second. I didn't just see this candle. All right, don't be done for the day. You listen to me now? Don't listen to me. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness. Let's look at this 30-minute. Okay. We're at the range on the 30-minute now. Okay, do you see why I had this orange now? I think this orange was going to be the break of orange for the down. Look at the money we printed. I didn't get any of this because I got out. I took my runners and everything and got out. Gosh darn it. I should have waited. See, this is why you wait till the close. Oh, that hurts so bad. But if you've been with me all this time, now you see what an ideal trade setup looks like. Now you see, right? Rejection off our key level, the micro head and shoulders, the invert or the cup and handle that happened perfectly at the exact break of our purple. This was an ideal trade. Nothing more you can ask for in this trade. This is the trade that dreams are made of. Besides this one candle here, this is very tight, consistent. Probably could make this a little bit better. And here's something else I want everyone in the Discord to keep in mind. If the setup doesn't look like this, if it doesn't look perfect like this, then you don't have to take the trade. You can wait for setups that look so perfect. You don't have to take setups that are like, this is sketchy. Why not wait for the perfect setup? This is what we're talking about. This is very, this was pretty, if you didn't know, now you know. Look how perfect this was. There's no way I'm just guessing this, right? I'm learning the pattern. You're here to learn the pattern. Once certain things happen, you're high probability that what the next thing's gonna be. We just gotta know what to look out for. This is safe. Look how safe this trade was. This is a really good trade right here. Now let's see if we're forming ahead right here, right? So watch out for this. This move is done now, right? The move is done. Let's clean it up. Now we want to look forward to see if we get this and this. Okay. So look for this. Now we see the liquidity we're about to head into, right? So if we get back into this liquidity, then you gotta look for this, right? So now you gotta be patient. You're in the middle of the water here. The move we were looking for happened. This is our move. One trade for the day. That's all we need. We don't need to sit here and trade all day trying to get every single dime. That's gonna lead you to greed. It's gonna lead you to greed and lust within your heart, and it's gonna lead you down the wrong path. Be happy with the profit you made. This is a business. If you're sitting here and gambling away all your profit, that's not a good business plan. I'll tell you that right now. If you have secured money in your hand right now from a simple, easy trade, and you're still sitting here gambling, you got a problem. You got bigger problems. Do you see why I wanted to wait till we get below this pink before I start thinking anything? I got to get below this pink before this head and shoulders is even a thing. Because at this point here, I'm going to look for more continuation. And I know what continuation looks like, right? It has to look like something like this. Are you doing market orders or are you doing limit orders, Ron? Oh man, yeah, you got to get that setup going properly. Okay, yeah. The only thing with the market orders, you really can't hesitate if you want to get a good fill. You gotta get in there. If you're placing orders and they're not filling on time or it's uncomfortable to fill, you need to figure that out before you start trading, because it's gonna hurt you if your stops, if you have automatic stops generated and you're not getting filled properly, it's gonna mess up your whole trading plan. Now there's no trade here, right? There's no trade here. We're in the middle of the water. We need to look for microstructure. I mean, I like to see some deeper structure here. I like to see some deep structure. When I'm saying deep structure, I mean like maybe something like this. Because to me, this was the move. This from here to here was my move. Now I gotta wait for the next move, the next setup. I probably took profit a little too early. Obviously I took profit too early, but profit's profit. We did our job for today. I just want you guys to be able to see that this was a very important trade. This is probably the most important trade we've ever taken, which was identifying the microstructure within the macro structure to understand direction. This was probably the most important trade we've ever done because everything was highlighted perfectly. We saw everything happen right in front of our face. We knew that any downside was somewhere over here. We're not going in on puts until here because we needed the momentum. We needed to take this level out to the downside to tell us momentum. But do you see where the momentum went? It went up. The momentum pushed us up. Okay, I'll be back in like a minute or two. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Let's look forward to see if we get another week, a week bear cycle here. Right, the week bear cycle will give us continuation up. Let's check on VWAP. I haven't used VWAP in a while. Oh, okay, way above VWAP now. High above VWAP. VWAP would have gave us another confluence if we checked on VWAP, right? Because we see that how it bounced off of VWAP right when the bull cycle started. Another confluence right there, but we didn't need indicator. We had price action. We didn't need the indicator because we have price action. The indicator just tells you what happened after the fact. See, now this is also looks like thin structure here, right? The mini. We want to look to see if we have this, right? Little thin structure right here. This is thin structure. Very little movement in here. This is just chop. So, but I'm just giving you an idea of what to look out for. Triple top? What are you talking about, triple top? This could be a double top here on the 30-minute. This is looking like a double top, right? If we do reject here, then it'll be more likely a double top. Oh, okay. Got you. Got you. If we're up for the day, there's no reason to sit here and trade all day. Really, there isn't. No reason to sit here and cannibalize your account on let's see what we got. This is be patient here. We see where the liquidity is. Right, so if we get above, retest, or if we get below, retest. Very simple concept right there. That's the concept right there. But this is thin structure, so trade at your own risk here. Another thing I don't recommend doing is trying to call the top. Trying to call the top has cost me a lot. I'm still here. I'm just eating. Give me a second. I apologize. So you're in the middle of the water here. You know you're in your liquidity zone here. You don't have any direction as of yet. You'll know direction once you take out the liquidity to either one side or the other. Very simple. Thank you.
John, were you hungry or what?
I'm fat again.
Hmm?
I'm fat again.
Oh, okay.
I gotta skinny up again. Okay, just side chop. Okay, you see liquidity building up, right? We see it building up right in here. So just wait for this liquidity for that. I'll give you some direction. Then you know you got to take this out. See this liquidity right here? This is why you wait for the break and retest. Okay, you know where the liquidity is. You know what needs to happen for a move. You already know what needs to happen for the move. Okay, so if the price is gonna head down, want to see this, this, and this. Okay, we're back at this liquidity level right here. I think the safety is probably going to be this second one. I'll give this one a 2. I'll give this one a 3. So yeah, you'd like to see something like this. All right, now remember, we want to see like this, like this, like this for this first leg, right? So we can take out this liquidity here, and then we're going to target down here. Then we got to target down here. So let's see if we take out this level first. If we reject underneath. But we also got to look out for this right here. So that's why we want to wait for this blue, this thick blue, for your safety. And then the microstructure here would look like maybe a shoulder, a head, maybe another shoulder. Let me clean up the chart just a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's either going to be this bolt up or this head and shoulder. Those are your two options. Okay, just sitting, instead of just sitting here waiting for price action, why don't you set your alerts? Put a price level that you want to set an alert if it gets to this price or if it gets to this price. So you're not sitting here just watching the screen the whole day. Look where you see where the liquidity is. You see it's right in here. So you know if it's gonna do this or this. Okay, on our 1 minute, looks like we got some room for the upside. On the 5 minute, got a little bit more room for the upside. 30 minute, we got some room for the upside. You got to measure your risk to reward here on the break of this purple, right? Because the stops are going to be right here at 646.43. Clean up this chart just a bit. Okay, another winner. Another winner. If you didn't collect money, I can't do anything about that. I told you where to go in. If you didn't collect money on this, there's nothing I can do. Even if you got the worst possible fill, there's nothing more I can do. We're 100% for the day. Do you see now why I changed the blue from a 2 to a 3 down here? This is why. This is why right here. So on this play here, it was either you go in on this, right, this little shoulder right here, or you go in on the break of purple to your profit target. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. We measured our risk to reward. Now we're gonna see if we gain some strength if we get this watch. We're gonna see if we get the microstructure to give us more strength to head up. Now we need this microstructure to give us more if we're gonna pass 646.43. But we knew the risk to reward, right? From purple to here. Why? Because we see where the resistance is. So that's all we could do. Right now, all-time high is 647.02 or 646.98. Yeah, somewhere over here. On Friday, August 15. All right, if we get below blue, this micro is no longer valid, right? If we get below this blue. Okay. Another perfect play played out. We've identified our liquidity. So if we get above, wait for the pullback. Break, retest, and reject. If you didn't already get in, that's what you gotta wait for now. Yeah, if you're not already in, then you're in the middle of the water here. Your entry was either the shoulder or the break of purple. You're still in profit. There's no entry here, right? Now you're monitoring your trade. Your next entry on longs are going to be on the break, retest, and reject of this liquidity level. And then short is going to be the opposite, right? But we want this to finish playing out. Let's see what we got. Okay, the micro cup and handle played out. Right, so it was this, this, and this. Once we got back up here, now we gotta wait for the next play. We're gonna look for either continuation or the rejection. It's kind of looking like a bolt, huh? According to this 5-minute. Yeah, we're just see the range that I put. It was 44.49, and we're just at this range right now, 46.21. So we're gonna see if we break above or if we stay below. Don't forget, it still could be this, right? We just need to see which way this liquidity breaks. Okay, you see the range we're in? Between 46.43 and 46.01? We're stuck in between this range here. Take your time, you're not missing anything. We're just within a range right here. If we break above 646, 46.43, I'll add this win to the win total. I want to go close above it though. Okay, I'm gonna add this purple to the wins. Well, if we close, I'll wait for the close. Okay, gonna add this one to the wins. I guess I'll let it close because it kind of wicked and it's wicking here. I'll let it close before I add it. We know there's big resistance right here. We know there's big resistance here. How do we know that? Because look at our 30-minute. We need to get above this liquidity before we start worrying about calls. don't get caught inside this range here. You see where the range is. It's probably actually closer down here. 645.78. You see where the liquidity is, right? It's in here. This is where all your orders are. So you're looking for a break above with a retest or a break below with a retest. Now technically we're still above the water, so we're still technically in an uptrend. I'm not really convinced with the fading. It's not exactly fading how I'd like. I'd like to close above 640.43 just so we can add this to the wins. Man, they do not want me to add this to the win. I want to add this to the win. It needs to close above 646.43. Come on. I might see some divergence playing out here. A bearish divergence. Come on, let's close above so I can add this. Let's close above. Again, I want this to close above 43 here so I can add this to the wins. Come on. They don't want to give me this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, now we can add this to the wins. Well, I'll let it close. Still got 30 seconds on it. Damn, they don't want to give me this win. Okay, come on. Just close right here so I can be done. Just close right here. I can... Okay, come on. Still above the water. Still above the water, but we might have some bearish divergence coming in here. Reading the tea leaves. Looks like it's here. This is a 50-50 on a bearish divergence. It's not confirmed. This doesn't mean anything. I'm testing to see if the bearish divergence is right here at this moment. We're still technically in the uptrend, right? Look at the MACD. We're still in the uptrend, so... We'll know what's going to happen, right? Do you see the fading going this way? Or do you see the fading going this way? This is a big level of resistance right here. Big resistance right here. Still technically in the uptrend. Come on, let's close. Let's close. Okay, I can add this break of purple to the win list now. The put entry was on the break of blue, so we only had one option. It was going to be either this shoulder right here or the break and retest of purple. So this is a winner. Let me how much we can go up from here? I don't know. Let's see. Next target 4702. So do you see the fade that I drew? Which way is it fading? How much we can get out of it from here? I don't know. I don't know. Clean up the chart. If you're looking for puts, wait for that. Let's watch out for the rejection on the 5 at 646.17. Let's make sure it doesn't shoot up from here. It might want to retest this level and shoot up. I got another few minutes here, and then I'm gonna call it. But I'll do my appointment, and I'll be back on Discord after my appointment. Okay, I'm gonna head off of YouTube for a little bit. Discord, I'll be back in I'll check in a little bit. So just give me some time. I'm gonna log off the YouTube and also Discord, and I'll be back in a little.